Have you ever wondered what would happen if the Earth suddenly stopped spinning? Do you think we'd die? Or would life just continue on? Well, today we're going to break it all down, minute by minute, as if Earth decided to pull the ultimate prank on us. Stick around, because this is one cosmic roller coaster you do not want to miss. Alright, let's get into it. Before we dive into the total mayhem of a suddenly non-spinning Earth, we need to set the stage a bit. Earth, as you probably know, spins like a cosmic ballerina. It's rotating at about 1,000 miles per hour. Just imagine that, 1,000 miles per hour. That's faster than Aunt Marge driving to the Black Friday sales. This spinning is what gives us day and night. It's the reason we have sunrises to put on Instagram and sunsets to post inspirational quotes under. But more than that, the spin keeps our entire planet balanced like a well-oiled machine. Ever been on one of those spinning carnival rides like the tilt-a-whirl? You know, the ones that make you question all your life's choices? Well, Earth's spin works a little bit like that. It's the centrifugal force from the spin that keeps everything in place. Imagine this. You're on that tilt-a-whirl, hanging on for dear life. If the ride suddenly stops, you'd go flying off, right? And maybe you'd land in the funnel cake stand if you're lucky. But here's the thing. If Earth stopped spinning, it wouldn't just be you flying, it would be everything. And the stakes are a lot higher than losing your cotton candy. So what happens when Earth slams on the brakes? What would happen in those first 2 seconds? Get ready, because things are about to get interesting. Alright, buckle up folks, because we're diving into the first minute of Earth's impromptu stop. Imagine for a moment that you're in a car going 60 miles per hour and suddenly slam on the brakes. You'd lurch forward, right? Now, instead of 60 miles per hour, think about moving at 1,000 miles per hour without a seatbelt. Not so fun anymore, is it? The Earth just stopped spinning, but guess what? You, me, your neighbor's cat, everything not nailed down, would keep moving at 1,000 miles per hour. That's faster than a jet airplane. So picture this. You're walking to grab a snack from the kitchen, and suddenly you're flying across the room. Not just you, your fridge, your couch, your goldfish, all zooming eastward like it's auditioning for a Fast and Furious Earth edition. But it doesn't stop there. Ever tried to carry a bowl of soup across the room without spilling it? Now, imagine that bowl is the size of the Atlantic Ocean and Earth just decided to stop spinning. The oceans wouldn't just sit there politely. They'd surge across the land like a cosmic tidal wave, wiping out everything in their path. Coastal cities? Say goodbye. Inland cities? You're not off the hook either. These waves would be powerful enough to turn skyscrapers into sandcastles. If any skyscrapers were still standing, that is. Think you're safe on a mountain? Nope. The air itself is also moving at 1,000 miles per hour, and when the planet stopped, it didn't get the memo. Imagine a windstorm that's not just knocking over your lawn chairs, but ripping your house off its foundation. Trees, cars, cows, everything would be tossed around like toys in a tornado. Now, I know what you're thinking. Could anyone survive this? Well, unless you're hiding out in a super reinforced bunker built by paranoid billionaires, the chances are slim to none. And even then, I wouldn't bet on it. The first minute is pure chaos, and guess what? We're just getting started. Okay, so you somehow managed to survive that first minute of Earth's ultimate joyride. Congratulations. Maybe you were one of the lucky few who had a safe spot, or maybe you just got the best luck in the universe. But don't relax just yet, the fun is far from over. Let's talk about the next 5 minutes. Remember how we mentioned the atmosphere moving at 1,000 miles per hour? Yeah, that's still happening. But now, the atmosphere's got a new job. It's about to whip around the planet like a supersonic hurricane. Imagine the biggest, baddest storm you can think of, then multiply it by 1,000. Winds faster than the speed of sound would tear across the planet, flattening forests, toppling skyscrapers, and tossing debris around like a cosmic blender set to puree. Ever been in a wind tunnel? It's like that, but instead of testing your new hair gel, it's testing whether you can hold on to anything, including your sanity. If you were outdoors, you'd be lifted off your feet, and if you were indoors, well, you might not have a building left to shelter you. And here's the kicker: temperature. Normally, our good friend Earth spin's giving us that nice cycle of day and night, but with no spin, one side of the planet would be stuck in perpetual daylight, while the other side would be plunged into an endless night. Imagine the day side. It would be like standing on the surface of Mercury, where temperatures can soar to over 800 degrees Fahrenheit. We're talking about cooking an egg on the sidewalk? How about baking a whole Thanksgiving turkey out there? Meanwhile, on the night side, things wouldn't be any better. Temperatures would drop faster than your phone's battery when you forgot to charge it overnight. The cold would be so severe that even the polar bears would be like, nope, we're out of here. The oceans would start to freeze, and any life on that side would be in for a deep freeze that makes Antarctica look like a tropical getaway. Now, I still know what you're thinking. Can anyone survive this? Well, if you're on the day side, you're dealing with heat stroke and dehydration. On the night side, frostbite and hypothermia. It's a lose-lose situation, folks. And the worst part, this is just the beginning. So let's fast forward to the next half hour. By now, the Earth's surface is unrecognizable. Cities have been flattened, oceans have sloshed all over the place like a spilled smoothie, and the atmosphere is in total chaos. But what happens next? Let's take a deeper dive into the long-term effects of our sudden planetary stop. First off, Earth's magnetic field, which is like our planet's personal bodyguard against solar radiation, would start to weaken. Why? Because this magnetic field is generated by the movement of molten iron in Earth's outer core, a movement that's heavily influenced by the Earth's spin. No spin, no movement, and the magnetic field would start to fade like your favorite pair of jeans. Without this shield, we'd be bombarded by cosmic rays and solar winds. Imagine living inside a microwave, except there's no off button. The radiation would slowly strip away our atmosphere like peeling an orange, but with way less vitamin C. And no atmosphere means no protection from the harshness of space. Life on Earth would be, well, let's say survival would be a challenge for even the hardiest of microbes. But that's not all. Remember how Earth isn't a perfect sphere? It's more like a slightly squashed ball bulging at the equator. This shape is also a result of our planet's spin. If Earth stopped spinning, gravity would start pulling everything toward the poles. We're talking massive floods as water from the oceans begins to migrate toward the poles, leaving the equator high and dry, literally. Picture this. The equator starts to rise, forming new mountain ranges, while the poles sink under the weight of all that water. Your cozy beach house would suddenly be sitting on the side of a mountain, or worse, submerged under a new polar ocean. And let's not even get started on the tectonic activity. Earth's crust would be under so much stress that earthquakes and volcanic eruptions would become the norm. It's like Earth decided to throw the ultimate rager and invited every natural disaster to the party. But wait, there's more. Our good old moon would also be affected. You see, Earth's rotation plays a big role in keeping the moon in its orbit. Without that rotation, the delicate balance between Earth and the moon would be thrown off. The moon could start drifting away, and as it does, our tides, or what's left of them anyway, would become even more unpredictable. Imagine tidal waves that make the earlier tsunamis look like kiddie pool waves. So yeah, the first half hour post-stop, not exactly a walk in the park. Alright, let's take a look at what happens a few hours after the Earth has decided to take a permanent nap from spinning. By now, the planet has been through a lot. We've seen massive windstorms, scorching heat, freezing cold, and a whole lot of destruction. But believe it or not, the worst might still be yet to come. The Earth's crust, which is already under enormous pressure, would start to shift in ways we've never even seen before. Massive earthquakes could rip through the land, splitting continents apart and creating new ones. Entire regions could be swallowed by the Earth, and others could rise from the depths of the oceans. It's like someone hit the reset button on the planet's geography, and we're all just along for the ride. And then there are the volcanoes. With the tectonic plates in chaos, volcanic activity would go into overdrive. Picture lava fountains spewing across the landscape, ash clouds blocking out what little sunlight remains, and new mountain ranges forming from the molten rock. It would be like living in a real-life version of Dante's Peak, but with way fewer Pierce Brosnans to save the day. And if that's not enough to make you wish you were on another planet, there's the issue of our long-lost buddy, the Moon. Without Earth's spin, the Moon's gravitational pull could cause even more chaos. It might drift away, altering our already messed up tides, or it could wobble in its orbit, creating massive tidal waves that would wash over whatever's left of the coastlines. Imagine looking up at the sky and seeing the Moon slowly drifting away, knowing that each inch it moves is another nail in Earth's coffin. It's like watching a disaster movie in slow motion, except this time there's no heroic rescue team coming to save the day. It's just us, the battered Earth, and whatever comes next. So what's the takeaway? If Earth ever stops spinning, we're in for a world of hurt, literally. And the scary part is, we've only just scratched the surface of what could happen. So we've covered the immediate chaos, the destruction, and the reshaping of our planet. But what happens in the long run? Let's say somehow humanity, or at least a few lucky survivors, manage to make it through the initial catastrophe. Maybe they're up on a space station or something along those lines. What kind of world would they have to contend with? First off, Earth's climate system would be in total disarray. With one side of the planet stuck in perpetual daylight and the other in eternal night, the atmosphere would try to balance things out, but it wouldn't be pretty. Massive storms, unpredictable weather patterns, and extreme temperatures would become the new normal. The places that were once lush and green might turn into deserts, while the pools, now flooded with water, could become the new hotspots for life, if any life remains. Imagine trying to grow crops or find fresh water in this new world. The places that once provided food and resources might now be barren wastelands, while other areas that were previously uninhabitable could become the new centers of civilization, if we want to even call it that. And let's not forget about the loss of Earth's magnetic field. Without that protective shield, life on the surface would be exposed to deadly radiation from the sun and space. If there are any survivors, they'd have to find ways to live underground or in heavily shielded structures, making the surface of the Earth a no-go zone for most life forms. As for the rest of the planet, well, it would be a harsh alien world with a completely different ecosystem, if there's an ecosystem at all. Most species wouldn't survive the extreme conditions, and those that do would have to adapt quickly. We might see the rise of new life forms, creatures that thrive in darkness or in extreme heat, but they'd be a far cry from the familiar animals and plants we know today. In the end, Earth as we know it would be gone, replaced by a planet that's barely recognizable. It would be a world of extremes where survival is a constant struggle and the future is anything but certain. Wow, what a journey, right? The good news is, the Earth isn't planning on stopping its spin anytime soon. Our planet's steady rotation is what keeps everything in balance, from our weather to our oceans to the very air we breathe. So the next time you're out stargazing or watching a beautiful sunset, take a moment to appreciate Earth's steady spin. It's the reason we have the life we enjoy today, and it's something we should never take for granted. Because as we've seen, without that spin, things would get pretty wild pretty fast. If you found this video as fascinating as I did, give it a thumbs up and share it with your friends. Let me know in the comments what other cosmic scenarios you'd like to see explored. What if the sun suddenly went out? Or what if we discovered another planet like Earth? And don't forget to subscribe to Bob's Intriguing Facts for more mind-blowing content. Keep your curiosity alive, and I'll see you in the next video.